I'm Tom Coughlin. I'm Doug Barone. What am I doing? I am using all the Steelers' pregame chatter about playing the New England Patriots a second time against them. And don't think for a moment, we all know this. This is what coaches do. It's psychology 101. And I've been saying it since, I think, November 26th. It was a Sunday night when Coach Tomlin gave Coach Dungy an interview on NBC on Sunday Night Football. And Coach Tomlin was great to his friend. He didn't give him coach speak. He gave him speech from the heart. He talked real. And that real, I think, basically started this whole path that the Steelers went down where they became obsessed with the New England Patriots. And I think it came back to bite them in a couple of different ways. They're not tightened up enough. And I think Ben Roethlisberger talked about that last year. We got to tighten up things around here. You remember that?
Yeah.
And number two, the players, they just don't respect. It doesn't seem like they respect the game enough to win because they have the talent to be Super Bowl champions.
Oh,
and they
absolutely.
should be in this AFC championship.
They should, but then on the other end of the spectrum, you have the Jacksonville Jaguars post-game, and a lot of people are saying they're too confident. And I'm looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars right now, and I'm saying there's a guy in New England named Mr. Mister. There's a guy in New England named the Boy Wonder. There's a guy in New England named the GOAT.
All I'm saying is this. If you don't have a mentality like Ramsey, what else do you want him to say? I don't understand. Like, I get it, right? Don't go crazy and don't be that confident. But if you are that confident, it's okay to walk in there with that bat and say, I'm here for a fight.
Yeah, but that same thing that energized you before the game is going to energize these guys. And they've been using it for how many years?
Guess what?
18.
How many years? 18 years this guy have been using it.
So listen to this. Listen to this. Everything that you guys saying. I heard the same story. Just imagine that this same story plays out this many years later. Oh, there's no way the Baltimore Ravens can go to Oakland and beat Rich Gannon and Tyrone Wheatley with the #1 offense and #1 pass with Trent Dilfer. This is what I heard.
Hold on, I'm laughing because I don't know who's worse, Michael Irvin and the Cowboys or Ravens. It always goes back to Baltimore.
Yeah, it's personal. Hey, but you know what? The Bortles, nobody more maligned than Blake Bortles, and you heard his teammates ask him, who's talking now?
Well, yeah, that was great. Now, listen, you talk about all this talk. Come on, who talked more than the Ravens when they were winning? And they were all over the place.
All over the place.
But they weren't worried about, we'll psych the other team up. Big deal. We'll still shut them out. That's easy.
Don't matter.
But, you know, there's many things. Blake Bortles, what do you say? He persevered all the way through training camp. Think back to where that was at. Think of the preseason game. He had to go out and play for his job in the 4th preseason game. He didn't even start it. They started Chad Henne. He comes in. What does he do in that preseason game? One of his first throws was intercepted. Then he kind of got it together and made it work. I give him a ton of credit for hanging in there. I almost look at it this way. He's like a golfer, a putter. He's putting and gets the yips. And at times he won't let the football go. But we saw him this past weekend, and I'm sitting here and I'm telling you, Blake Bortles played almost a perfect game. He threw it to the right person every time. He ran when he had to. He avoided sacks. It was really outstanding. So,
let's go back a little bit. All right, Blake Bortles. Where is he from? He's from a place called Oviedo, Florida. No, I'm not going to go down the UCF trail again.
There you go.
He's from a place called Oviedo, Florida. And that was our rivals in high school. I went to Lake Howell High School. We played them every year. And it was one of the toughest places to go play, right? And the reason why is because these kids, the makeup of these kids, they're so tough and so strong. And they're not football. They're not a receiver or a quarterback or a linebacker. They're football players. And that's what you're seeing out of Blake Bortles. Whatever it takes to win, he's going to do that because that's his makeup.
And I can appreciate that. Don't get me wrong. And, you know, there are times where this season here on this show, especially early December, we said he's got it in him. And we saw it. We saw it especially against Seattle. But other teams are calling him out on the field, which is really disgraceful as far as I'm concerned. I just try to give you an honest assessment of what I think I see. And what I saw, and Phil said it right, he played a perfect game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Guess what? He's going to have to play a perfect plus game against the New England Patriots if he's going to want to win in Gillette Stadium.
It's been a little severe, the criticism. You know, I understand, but, you know, whatever. But you know what? When you're an NFL quarterback, even when it goes good, unless you're like Tom Brady or whatever, it's going to be rough. The critics are always out there because who's the first person they look at when there's a loss? Well, the quarterback didn't do it.